Stream The Conscious Babe right now, available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio.
Pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, pop that pussy for your man, bitch. Pop that pussy for your man, while you fucking people, nigga, need to find your own man, bitch.
First of all, we're gonna start this off by saying that I am very happy for Megan, okay? After all she's been through, I'm very happy. She got Clay. She's in her Lover Girl era. She's feeling like a goddess. Love that for you. With that being said, that song is garbage. I'm so sorry. That song is garbage, and I don't want to argue with anybody about it. Oh, she's never made a song like this before. The flow, the cadence, what? Not to mention, y'all using the video as an excuse to pump up the song and make it seem like it's better than what it is. That's nothing we have not seen before. And it's like, me personally, I am tired of the ass shaking. Like, I'm tired of seeing that. Like, can we bring back real music videos with real creativity? Like, please.
So it just gets to a point where we have to question why this is necessary. Why is it that ass and over-sexualization are a focal point for marketing when it comes to Black women, period? What is the true reasoning for this? What exactly can we do to pinpoint if this is something that is necessary in order to maintain status, fame, popularity, or visibility? Or is this more of an agenda push to continue to secularize and categorize Black women in a certain way? I think Megan Thee Stallion's recent song Lover Girl is a decent song as far as the hook and the bars and, you know, the sample and everything like that. But I always question why her ass is the focal point of her videos, much like a Ice Spice or, you know, other artists as well. But it just seems to be something that's constantly present when it comes to particular artists. It's a very interesting place to be as a viewer, as a Black woman, not wanting to necessarily put down anyone's artistry, but being honest about the amount of energy that's required to fully grasp why this is the representation we continue to get, or why is this the main artistry that is being pushed. Mind you, LMI just dropped a new music video recently called Little Things. Watch the video, love the song. It really is just the perfect blend of good music, good visuals, you know, sensuality, sex appeal without going overboard. However, you don't see these types of, you know, music videos, content being pushed on major platforms. But you know what? Fine, cool. Just going backwards a little bit, we have artists like Rihanna. And even though Rihanna hasn't put out music, you know, her artistry was so purely authentic. And I think that's why it's still appreciated to this day. It was a perfect blend of sex appeal, mystique, and intrigue. And then, of course, talent, right? And then you have people like Beyonce, of course, who are so severely talented to the point where it's obvious that these women don't need to sell sex to appeal to their base. I want to give people like Megan the benefit of the doubt, you know, but again, it just gets to a point. What is it that's really the issue? And you know, I think deep down, some of y'all gonna get mad at me for this, but whatever. There's a sense of inadequacy. Because her look isn't as traditionally marketable, she has to overcompensate with her sex appeal. You know, I could flip the coin and say people like Ice Spice, where there's little talent, she has to overcompensate the same way. A lot of these things are rooted in body politics, texturism, colorism, unfortunately. But these are the realities that shape how audiences respond and what they naturally gravitate towards. So when there's something missing, some artists feel the need to overextend or overcompensate with sex. And then, okay, fine. Labels know that provocative visuals spike engagement. Sexual content gets higher retention time on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, right? It's not always the artistic choice, it's the algorithmic survival. The system rewards shock value because it drives clicks, streams, and virality. It's not necessarily empowerment. It's market conditioning disguised as choice. And sure, some will argue that this is liberation to an extent, that women owning their sexuality is empowerment. And in theory, yes, that is true, but ownership isn't the same as requirement. And when sexuality becomes the only acceptable form of power, it stops being freedom and actually is, in some way becomes a prison. It starts being a performance. You have no choice. I think Cardi B is another good example. She's talented. She knows how to command attention with her presence and personality. I'll say that. But because the talent doesn't always stand on its own, she also has to over-sexualize herself, right? It's a combination of everything: market appeal, looks, personality. Furthermore, there have been recent studies within the decade about the concept of, sex selling. A 2020 meta-analysis found that sexualized ads reduced purchase intent among women and had no significant positive effect for men. So in theory, you're capturing eyes, but not hearts, right? And this is where the deeper conversation comes in, because as women, we're often told that visibility equals validation. The quickest way to be visible is to be consumed. So when artistry doesn't stand on its own, the body becomes the advertisement. From Sarah Bartman, the so-called Hottentot Venus, to the video vixen era of the 2000s, the Black female body has always been marketed as entertainment. The difference now is we call it branding, because the packaging is more polished. The budgets are a lot more expensive, but the message is the same. The Black woman's value is tied to how much of her she's willing to give away. And then I did want to talk about this aspect as well, because I felt like it was important. But there's a whole nother layer when it comes to love, relationships, and selling sex, especially when it's something you continue to do while in a relationship. We all know that Megan Thee Stallion has recently been public with Klay Thompson. Whether this relationship is for publicity or not, I don't know. I wish them the best. But it's extremely hard to take seriously a woman who's so casually okay with putting her body out there for everyone to consume. No man, no matter who he is or how big his name is, wants to be with a woman seriously who constantly parades herself for consumption, branding, validation. Men respect the opinions of other men. They internalize judgment. They compare. They compete. So when your body, your sex appeal, your aura are accessible to the world, including other men, it creates a subconscious comparison game. Why would he value what everyone else already has access to? Why would he fight for what doesn't feel exclusive? Now, that doesn't mean every man thinks this way, and it doesn't mean women shouldn't feel confident in their sexuality. It just means that respect and desire are not the same thing. And men know the difference. When your body becomes your product, it's no longer reserved. And when it's no longer reserved, it becomes common. But ultimately, even still for a man in his position, it could also come down to how he perceives her influence. Not just on her fan base, but on Black women, young Black girls, and what that does to our overall image. Because we don't talk enough about the downstream effect. When young girls see that visibility is tied to sensuality and overexposure, they start to believe that modesty equals invisibility. And that's how the cycle continues. The system rewards the bullshit. So maybe the real question isn't, why they do it, but why we as a culture, as an audience, as a society keep rewarding it. Because if the market keeps equating visibility with sexuality, then none of us can be surprised when that's all we continue to see. With that being said, thank you guys for tuning into the Conscious Bae channel. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a like, drop a comment if you have anything to add. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until the next episode, peace and love.